Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of We're Screwed. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr. With me, as always, my co-host, old boy James Ash. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. How's everybody tonight?
Me and old boy were just chatting before we started the show. We do that. We get online together and we bullshit for like an hour or two before we ever even get to actually working and doing any shows. And we were talking about all kinds of stuff, but it ended up in this subject of the beaches over in Europe. Like we started talking about nude beaches and stuff. And I talked about how I grew up in Germany. And over in Germany, women can walk topless down the street. At least they used to be able to back when I was there. I don't know if it's the same now or not because I'm not there. But back then, you would see women walking topless down the street and nobody cared. And all the beaches were fully nude. And old boy was remarking how, yeah, you can't do that in America. That would never happen here. And I told him, and I think this is true, that if we had nude beaches, like fully nude, where everybody was allowed to go, it wasn't like some private club, just all beaches were like that, then it would only be a very, very short time before the novelty would be gone and nobody would care that everybody was naked on the beach, you know? Because the sad truth is, from my experience, the people that are nude on it at a nude beach are not the people that you want to see nude at a nude beach. It's a bunch of wrinkly, saggy, fat fucks. Really old people, people like that. It's not people that you're like, oh man, I hope she's naked on a beach. That almost never happens. It happens every once in a while. Don't get me wrong. Those are glorious, glorious days. Once in a while, you get lucky. But the overwhelming majority is not like that. So I think nobody would care. But that led to something else in my mind that I thought, let's talk about this too, while we're on this weird ass subject. I've seen a lot of stuff over the last several years for an internet campaign called Free the Nipple. Okay. Now, what Free the Nipple is, for those that don't know, it's women basically saying, hey, we want to be able to be topless, just like men can be topless. It's really hot in the summer. Me as a man, if I'm hot, I can take my shirt off and walk topless down the street. Nobody gives a shit. Now, I might have to put a shirt on to go in a store, depending on the store, but out in public, I can be shirtless all day long, and it's not a big deal. Well, women want to be able to do that as well. And I support that. I don't support that for the pervy reason you think I support that, although, don't get me wrong, I'm a guy. I like boobs just like everybody else likes boobs, right? They're amazing. But that's not the point. The point is, if you really stop and think about that, it's kind of fucked up. That we're like, okay, we can do it, but you can't. We're supposed to be like 2025 now, right? It's supposed to be like equal and all that kind of stuff where women can do anything a man can do, right? That's supposed to be the thing. So why are we telling them that they have to cover themselves like it's Sharia law or something? It doesn't make any sense. When in all reality, the majority of the shirts that these chicks wear, and a lot of them will go out and just like bikini tops and stuff like that, you can see everything except for the nipple anyway. So most of these chicks that want to do this, it's not like they're hiding anything in the first place. They're showing almost anything that you want to see anyway, right? But my point on it is just simply it's not fair. If and I'm not saying all women have to do this. Obviously, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. I'm not saying that. But I think that if a woman wants to be topless, let her be topless. Who gives a shit? Why is it such a bad thing? I understand not wanting to show the genitals of either sex, right? Because that I can understand how that's a dirty thing. Because your genitals are used for sex and that's dirty, right? To some people, I get that. I can understand, but I never have understood why boobs are considered dirty. Why, like it provides food, nourishment to a baby. That's a beautiful thing. What the hell is dirty about that? Why can't women breastfeed without everybody freaking out? I don't understand that either. Like there's not a whole lot sexual about boobs in the first place when you think about they're utilitarian, what they're used for, right? But then think about this: women can't even breastfeed in public without some perverted dipshit gawking at them. How sick do you have to be to stare at a baby suckling on a teat and think, "Oh yeah, mama"? You know what I mean? What the hell? That don't make no sense. I do not get it. So now I know what everybody's going to be saying. Everybody, yeah, sure, you support free the nipple because you're a guy and you want to see boobs. Dude, I can see boobs as much as I want to see boobs. I'm a married man. I have the internet. There's boobs everywhere. You know what I mean? A man can simply go down to a strip club and see boobs all night long if he wants to see boobs. It's not about that. It's simply about fairness and the freedom of women to be comfortable if they want to be comfortable. I just don't understand. I don't get why it's such a big deal to everybody. Because there's this back in my younger days, we used to go to strip clubs a lot. And when you go to a strip club is like one of the best places to go as a man. But not for the reason you think. You think that it's because there's a bunch of naked chicks in there. Now, granted, that's cool. Okay. Nobody's ever going to say, man, I'm so sorry I saw all those naked chicks. That's never going to come out of a man's mouth. On his deathbed, he's not going to say, if I could change one thing, I would have seen less boobs. That's never going to be said. But the reason why I always thought strip clubs were amazing was because it was the one place you could go and sit with your friends and have a beer and have a good time and not have to worry about some dipshit getting drunk and fighting you. Like, I've never been in a fight in a strip club, ever. Now, why is that? Because the men aren't trying to pick up women. They're just there to look at naked chicks. They don't care about fighting you. They don't care about impressing anybody. All they want to do is look at some naked chicks. So it's peace. It's peaceful. That's all you have to do. If you want world peace, just have a bunch of naked chicks everywhere. Men will no longer fight because we will be preoccupied. We won't give a shit and we'll be in a very good mood. You know what I mean? So you're not going to have to worry about any man getting out of line when there's naked women everywhere. Strip clubs are safe and they are fun. Now they're expensive. They are expensive because here's the thing that I found out the hard way. You can't just go sit in a strip club and hang out. Like, you have to tip people. You can't just like sit there and like have a beer and just chill because the dancers will come over to you and be like, hey, you want to dance? And if you don't give them $1 for them to dance for you, it won't be too much longer before some big, swolled up, ugly guy comes over and tells you you got to leave if you're not going to be paying the dancers. So you got to do that. I found that out because, and this is going to sound terrible, and Lord, I apologize for this, for putting this in the public like that. But here we go. I got in trouble at a strip club because a bunch of my friends and me went, and I was reading a book at the time, a really, really good book. I was really into it. It's Under the Dome by Stephen King, actually, that book. It's a big, thick bastard. And I'm like partway through it, like halfway almost through it, and I'm into the book. Man, I want to know what's going to happen next, right? So I'm literally sitting in a strip club, holding this giant ass book and squinting because the lights suck in a strip club. I'm squinting and trying to read the book. And the stripper comes over and she's like, puts her hand on me like this. There's a little, nice little sexy thing. And she's like, hey, baby, you want to dance? I'm like, oh, no, I'm good. And I'm just reading my book, right? Because the sad truth is, 5 minutes into a night at a strip club, it's no longer exciting. Like, it just becomes normal that there's naked chicks everywhere. Like, when you first walk in a strip club, it's like, ooh, 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 ooh. You're looking all over the place, freaking out, right? But after 5 minutes, you're like, oh, yeah, hey, how you doing? Get back to the book, right? So I'm sitting there reading the book, and the bouncers told me I had to put my book down and start tipping the dancers, or I had to leave. So I don't like being told what to do. So I told him to go fuck himself, and I left myself. And I went and sat out in the car and read my book while everybody was in the strip club. So that's my embarrassing strip club story. But anyway, getting out of strip clubs, the point of all of this that I was trying to make is that I don't see why it should be wrong or bad for women to be allowed to be topless, just like I'm allowed to be topless in the summertime. Because I want to be comfortable. Why can't you be comfortable? And I practice what I preach. When I ride down the road with my old lady, and she's hot, I'm like, take your fucking shirt off. What are you doing? Why are you wearing all that shit? You got a bra on, you got a shirt on, you got all this bullshit. Take it off. Let them fuckers air out, man. Let the wind hit them. It's glorious. I'm riding around without a shirt on. I'm a redneck. I got no shirt, beard just a flying in the wind. You know what I mean? Shit, take your shirt off, man. Be comfortable. I don't give a damn. So I just don't understand. Now, I know that this isn't Europe. Okay. I know that in America, they're not used to seeing that kind of stuff. So initially, you're going to have some freak out. you're going to have some people be like, oh my God, look, there's naked chicks everywhere. And it'll be, pretty cool for a moment. But believe me, just like in a strip club, it'll get to the point where you're like, I don't care. And the majority of women that are going to do this, it's not like they're going to be having, like sexy lingerie on other than their boobs out. They're going to be walking up to you and being all seductive. They're just going to be living their freaking life. At what point do we just allow women to just live their life and be comfortable and not have to worry every second about some perverted, hungry, fucking dumbass man trying to jump their bones? It's silly, man. I think if they want to do it, let them do it. I don't see why it's indecent, because that's what it all boils down to. Is it's decency laws, right? It's public indecency, public exposure, that kind of indecent exposure. I don't see what's indecent about boobs. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, they provide nourishment to babies. They're natural. God gave them to you. What's the big deal? You know, if you want to make a case for genitalia, we can make a case for genitalia about not seeing that. And really, that only goes for men anyway, because I'm sure nobody would care if women went bottomless. Not even other women, because it's not like you're going to see anything anyway. You know what I mean? It's all hidden. You're not going to see nothing. But men, if we're walking around swinging, that's a whole different story. Nobody wants to see that. Not even our women. I'm surprised women even like men. Be honest with you, I'm surprised every woman ain't a lesbian, because men are dirty. We are ornery. We are aggressive, and we're nothing like women. And even the best looking man, you take whoever you think the best looking man in the world is, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, whoever it is, right? Whoever's on the top of that totem pole for you, even that guy looks ridiculous naked. Every single one of us looks stupid when we're naked. We're just goofy looking, man. We're not we're not attractive people, like as a species. Some of us are rugged, and women look at us and they go, "Oh, that guy looks like he can take care of himself. He can whoop some ass." You know what I mean? So they're attracted to us because of that kind of stuff. But it's not like we're beautiful. Now, you look at women. Women are freaking beautiful. Women are like works of art, man. You know what I mean? It's a whole different thing. So I have no idea how they're even attracted to our goofy asses. But thank the good Lord they are. Otherwise, there wouldn't be no more of us, right? And one thing I can say about women is they make a house a home. You know what I mean? Like I can stay anywhere. Like I can be out on the road, get in a hotel room, whatever. It's a place to lay my head. I got a little fridge. I can get something to eat, all that kind of stuff. It's a house, right? Basically. But it's not a home. It's not a home till you go home to your woman, because then the house has a certain smell, that it doesn't have when just a man lives there, because men don't know how to clean like women know how to clean, man. We just can't do it. I try, but I can't do it right. It don't smell right when I do it. It's like, this don't smell clean. How come it smells different when you do it? So that, and you got like the cookies and all the kind of stuff that they do in the kitchen that, I'm a hell of a cook. You know what I mean? But it just doesn't have that same feel. So I'm glad that women enjoy us for whatever crazy reason they do, but it surprises the hell out of me. So let the women be topless if they want to be topless, and if they choose to do so, leave them the hell alone. Leave them alone. If you want to look, cool, look. It's a free country. Get an eyeful. That's fine. But don't be obscene about it. Don't be like gawking at them and harassing them and catcalling them and all that bullshit. Act like you've been there before, son. Right? That's what my football coach used to say. When you score a touchdown, you do like your little celebrations and all your bullshit. And then he'd be like, hey, act like you've been there before, son. You know what I mean? Act like you got some fucking sense. Don't act like a little dumbass. Act like you've been there before. So that's what I would say to all the men. Act like you've been there before, man. Don't be all acting all crazy and blowing it. Just chill. Just chill out and let them have their boobs out if they want to have their boobs out. You get all the looking you want to look, but just don't bother them. That's fair, right? I don't know. I'm going to throw over to old boy and see what he has to say about this mess. Go ahead, brother.
I've been laughing my ass off. This shit's funny. Oh, I totally agree. Women should be doing whatever they want. They want to run around with their boobs hanging out, they can. It's not our fucking job to tell them anything. They raise our children. They're always on our by our side. They can do whatever the fuck they want. I don't care. And I'm not saying that go be a pervert. And that's the problem. You always have some fuckers that got to ruin it. And think about it. Think about it if it was the other way around? You wouldn't want somebody doing that to you. I mean, women are beautiful. Like he said, I have to agree. I don't know what the fuck women see in us. I mean, we're not ugly men. We're rugged, but we all look funny. It is what it is. But women don't think so for some reason. But they find us attractive. I don't know how. Like I've told them about the Bible, even the angels in heaven fell in love with the women of men. I mean, that should tell you everything. I don't understand. It really makes no sense, dude. We're totally two different species. It's insane, and it's crazy. It's if I was a woman, I'm sorry, I'd probably be a lesbian. I wouldn't want to be as a man. Sorry, but that's just probably all you're just thinking as a man. Maybe I would think different as a woman. I don't know. I can't say that. I don't know, but no. Here in California, what they do, and we go to clubs out here and bars, golf clubs, and one of the shows I'll talk about that. But as long as they have the pasties, or they'll use the tape where it's a cross or something, so you can't see the nipple part, and that's how they get away with it. They still can walk around as long as the nipples are covered here. That's what they consider not seeing it, but we can. So it makes no sense. Women should be able to do it. There's no reason why I mean, I get it. There's some people who they get offended when women feed their children. I'm sorry. Fuck you. It's not that they're doing it to be disgusting. They're doing it to feed their kid. And most of the time they'll take it to the side so you can't see it. People flipping out, yelling at ladies. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I totally agree with James on this. He was making me laugh about the strip club because I have some stories myself. Because old boy in Hershey's, in our life, we've always had some crazy stories to tell you, and we might tell you a couple. Well, it was the night of my first marriage. We were having a bachelor party. We had a stripper over. Well, we got more than acquainted, and she started texting me after I got married. Why are you getting married? And I ran into her like a week later after I got married. It was just weird. It was just so weird how much she was really cute too. But your buddy old boy, he only got himself in trouble that one. But it's the same thing. I'll go to strip clubs and if it's no big deal to me. I see motherfuckers out there and they never seen a boob in their life or an ass, and at the strip clubs out here, if you don't sell liquor, you can have full nude. Except in Vegas is one of the only places you can be full nude and sell alcohol. Out here, if it's full nude, you can't sell. If it's just a topless bar, you can serve beer. And if it's and alcohol, you can't sell alcohol if it's fully nude. One thing they do here in California, what's weird, but it is what it is. That's their laws. Vegas, it's a whole different story. But I would go to the strip club and it was pretty cool. But I took my wife. My wife likes women, guys. And I've never hid that. And we got this one to we did a private dance. Nothing crazy happened, but this one chick kept popping out of nowhere. She was not going to say no, and we took her too. So that, but it was a crazy, just the thing he was talking about, strip clubs. I know it doesn't really have nothing to do with it, but I've had my own things. But I've seen a lot of crazy things. Like one time we were sitting there with my friend, and this girl gets money from a dance, and her man comes in and hands her the money, and my friend's like, did you just give your boyfriend money in the strip club or whatever it was? She's like, well, when you, and I'm like, he's all, I'm not giving you any kind of money. He went and said some shit about that. He got kicked out for that, dude. It was crazy. She just got some guy and she handed him the money. It was insane. That's really crazy because we're talking about the strip club thing. But other than that, yes, women should be able to go wherever they want with their breast out, and that's I believe in equal rights for feminine. That's what they believe, and they should be able to do it. And people shouldn't be acting stupid and going hoo hoo fuck, dude. You've never seen nothing. I mean, I see kids, young teenagers or something, but there's men who's 40 and 50 doing this shit. It's kind of ridiculous. I get it. If I was a woman, it would be very disrespectful and very wrong. It's bullshit. In Europe, people we were talking about we're talking about this earlier. In Europe, it's a whole different world. Commercials, they don't give a fuck. Here, America, for some reason, pretends to be something and hides it in a closet. And we were talking about this, and I'm glad we brought this part up because I almost forgot about it. It's weird. We like to promote sex so much, but then we want to hide it, what we do in the dark, and portray something else. When Europe, they don't. You could go. My friend would go to. He said he lived into Germany, like James said. You get off and there's everywhere. The age is different there too. I think it's 16, isn't it? The right, because I'm not I agree with it, but I know you could drink at 18 because my friend said you had to be a year in the military because he was from Germany and he told us all the laws there, and it's there. Some places see things different than we do, and I'm not agreeing with it.
Hey, on the drinking, um,
Yeah,
the actual law doesn't mean shit. It's not followed. Basically, when I was over there in the '80s,
yeah.
if you could take the money, you could take your marks, and you could reach up and sit them on top of the bar. Reach up and put them up there, even if it's way above your head. If you can get your money onto the bar, they will pour you a beer and put it there for you. They don't give a shit, man. I drank beer over there in Oktoberfest when I was a child. You know, what I mean, they give their babies beer in their baby bottles sometimes.
Yeah.
That should tell you. I mean, they don't care about the age. It doesn't matter at all as far as how when you can like drink or because it's they grow up drinking. They drink all the time. You know, it's nothing new to them.
But it's just crazy. Like they'll do like, oh my god, they showed them basically dancing and fucking on stage, but then they'll be oh my god, they actually showed a boob. You're making a big fucking deal about that, but you have people basically fucking on stage, dancing and shit. Who cares? But people for some reason want to pretend that this shit doesn't go on, and this is why it's going the way it is. People are going to push it, and you know what? They should be able to express yourself anyway. I'm not saying run around with your privates running around. But I'm talking about a woman. If we're allowed to run around with no shirt, they should be. And I understand. Oh well, no, it doesn't matter. Everybody knows a woman has breasts just like a man does. We just develop differently. So who cares? It's stupid. If they want to go on a beach, who cares? Most of the time, they still do it. If you see on TikTok, what they'll do now is to get away with it. As long as it doesn't show, like they said, as long as the nipples don't, they could put. Some of them take it off and they have the tape and they can't do shit about it. And that's the loophole they've been doing. But that's ridiculous. They have to go to that to do what they want. They're going to do it anyway. Who cares? But here in this country, I don't get it, man. It's crazy to me. Pretend to be something you're not. But hey, that's how we are. So, but this is really, I agree with him. I totally agree with him on this show. This was a really good. It's actually longer than I thought. So, I want to thank everybody on Spotify. I want to thank everybody on YouTube. Check us out on James Ursi's YouTube page. Subscribe. Go to the Spotify page. It's Staring into the Abyss, and you'll find more screwed. You guys want merchandise? Go to Teespring, staringintoabyss.com, and you can get shirts, all kinds of stuff. Let us know. We'll even do something special for you. My book's out, Evil Without a Face. Check it out. You can get it anywhere now, even the paperback now, guys. You want to get it. You can get it on Kindle. We are putting it on Barnes & Noble, but you can go to any bookstore. This is what people don't realize. Most big names, and tell them the name, and you can order it through them. It doesn't matter if it's going from Amazon. You still can order the book from anywhere, pretty much. So you can go at Barnes & Noble, and you can look it up, and they'll order it for you. You just have to pay more in fees. But that being said, I hope you guys have a good night. It's almost spring, so it's been fucking snowing here, but now it's supposed to get in the 80s next week, bipolar California. So that being said, have a good night, motherfuckers.
I always thought it was crazy for it to be illegal to be in public in your natural state. Like literally how we're born. It's illegal. That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that they force you to put on all these layers of plants and animals over top your body in order to be in public when God brought you into the world nude as a jaybird. It doesn't make any sense. That's our natural state. And I'm not saying everybody has to be naked. Do whatever you want, man. I don't care. I'm just saying if you want to be naked, why the hell can't you? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like that's how every single one of us was born. That's our natural state. It's how we're meant to exist. Believe me, if God wanted us to be covered up, he'd have covered it. So what's the point? It don't make no sense to me. And it's dumb to have to put like tape over your nipples. What the hell's so wrong with a nipple? It doesn't make any sense. It's so stupid. I mean, what's the worst thing that happened? You see some boobs. When in the history of ever has a woman showing you her boobs been a bad thing? When in the history of ever has that something like that happening to you not been the highlight of your day? And a story that you tell everybody when you get home. Well, you don't tell your wife if you're married. You don't do that. You'll get your ass kicked. But like you tell all your boys and everything. You know, you go over to your friend's house. Oh man, you're not gonna believe what happened to me today. I was just minding my business. I went down to Walmart and I was just chilling out and I was buying some yogurt and I was just chilling. I wasn't doing nothing wrong. I was minding my business. And all of a sudden, this chick walked by and flashed me her boobies. Man, you would tell that story and you'd be an old man in a nursing home. And a nurse would come in and ask if you wanted pudding. You'd be like, let me tell you about what happened this one time at Walmart. I was standing there, right? I mean, you would be telling that story forever. It would be the highlight of your day. Hell, the highlight of some people's life. Why is that a bad thing? What is wrong with it? I don't get it. I just, I don't understand, you know? And the sad thing is it puts you in a terrible position because as a man, if you want to be on the woman's side here, you really even can't because then you just look like a pervert, right? You just look like, oh, the reason you're supporting that's because you want to see their boobies. That's all it is. That's what everybody's going to think regardless, you know? So there's no way you can be on the right side of history on this one unless you just don't care what people think. And I don't really care what people think. So I say let them have their boobies out. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Up to you to make up your own mind. But I think every man, if you're honest, you're on the same side. Different reasons, probably. Some of you are dirty dogs. I see you in there. I see what you've been doing. You're dirty. But as long as you support the right side and keep your dirtiness to yourself, I guess there's no harm, right? I don't know. Like I said, make up your own mind. I ain't here to tell you what to do. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Till we speak to you again. Love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do we. Bye-bye.